Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Good morning, everyone. We are live and on the air from our studios in Eden Prairie. Welcome to a little ditty, a little song and dance, a little variety show we call The Jason Show. Good morning. On this Wednesday, thank you for being here. Hope you're having a good day. It's sunny out. We're getting a few more days of summer, and I'm very excited about that. I'm also very excited because I get to look across the studio and at a safe distance of about 30 feet say hello to Kendall.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm trying to decide if these shoes never fit right or if my feet just got fatter. Can your toes get fatter?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think your feet can
Legit.
gain weight, but you've lost weight.
I know, so I'm
Yeah.
confused. Oh, thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Hey, we
Thanks.
have the best
Thanks,
directors.
Adam. Thanks,
no,
Leo. Appreciate it.
Leo's on it. Like, he's on it. Shoe cam.
Shoe cam.
Or-
yeah, I mean, they're really cute, but they're like, I just feel a little pinched.
Well, you're in good company because you know what's funny? I was telling Jeff, I've been on the OWN app, the Oprah Winfrey Network. I've been rewatching the behind the scenes of making her final season. It was a great show. It was a docuseries.
Yeah.
And most episodes feature Oprah moaning and complaining about her shoes. She would only wear high heels for the broadcast and then take them off the minute she was off the set. So
You know me. That's what I do too.
I know. Me too. I only wear my high heels here, and then the minute I get home, Jeff does too. In the control room, Jeff wears the high heels only in there, and then he takes them off. Yeah.
It's good for you.
I have something that I think you might be happy about, and all of you. You ready?
I'm ready.
You know I love the Red Lobster. You know that I'm an alumnus of the Red Lobster for the seafood lover in you.
Do they claim you too?
They
That's
do.
The question.
They're a little ashamed of me because remember I yelled at that woman and quit in a very Joan of Arc style. But anyway, Red Lobster is making news because they have a new cocktail, everyone. But it's not a normal cocktail. It is called the Dew Garita. That's it right there. It is a Mountain Dew margarita. So it's dew, tequila, and other ingredients that we don't know. I'm just going to guess. It's going to be at select RLs this month, and it's going to go nationwide the end of this year. Okay?
Okay.
From what you just heard me say, would you enjoy the Dew Garita?
I would don't Garita.
You will not. You would don't Garita?
I would don't Garita, but I would go there for a nice glass of wine and a biscuit.
Okay. The Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Cheddar Bay biscuit. And
They're good.
like lobster, you know.
Yeah. We have a story coming up a little bit later. Speaking of lobster, there's a great list of, there's a food editor from delish.com who went to basically every chain restaurant in the universe, and she rated the best meals at every chain restaurant. You are going to want to see this list.
Yes.
Red Lobster made the list.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my favorite meal at Red Lobster, still I'm so boring, the popcorn shrimp.
You know, I love the popcorn shrimp there, too.
I am my mother, Dar, hi Mom, who loves that she can just turn on the TV now and watch the Jason Show. But anyway, my mother, going to Red Lobster was a big deal growing up.
Right.
So we'd go to Maryville, Indiana. That's where we had to drive to go to the Red Lobster. And she gets the popcorn shrimp extra done. She wants them extra crispy. None of that soggy crap for her.
No.
She wants them a little extra fried.
It's so funny you bring that up. I remember we would go to Rochester to go to the Olive Garden, and it was like a really big deal. We'd get dressed up. It's far away, so it didn't happen often.
Oh, it's a big deal. When my hometown finally got a Red Lobster, it was one of the biggest days in that town's history. When we got the Indiana State Prison and then Red Lobster, two of the biggest days.
The prison and the lobster.
Yeah. Our town had a choice. You could either have a university or a state prison. Guess what the founders of Michigan City, Indiana chose? The prison. Welcome to Michigan City. Yeah. Welcome to the hot dish, because it's time for the hot dish. Here we go, everybody. True story, though. Seriously.
So weird.
The founders of Michigan City, Indiana. We're going to give you a university, or do you want a prison? We'll take the prison, Chuck.
What's wrong with you people?
Hey, we knew it was probably going to happen. Now it's official. The life story of one of the biggest music artists in history is coming to the big screen. Who, you ask? This who.
Come on, phone.
best song of Madge's ever. Madonna confirmed yesterday that a biopic is in the works. She tweeted this, saying Universal will release the movie called an untold true story of Madonna, written and directed by Madonna herself. Over the past few weeks, Madonna's been sharing videos on social media showing her researching and writing the movie with Oscar winner and former Minnesota resident Diablo Cody. I don't care if people lived here for 5 minutes, we claim them. Diablo lived here for 2 minutes, we claim her. The 62-year-old, and let me just say that again, it's very hard to imagine that Madonna is 62. Madonna says it's, quote, essential to share the roller coaster ride of my life with my voice and vision. Okay, y'all know I love Madge. I am a Madonna child of the 80s. But you also know what I have said many times on this very broadcast. You should never be in charge of your own biopic. Why? Because human nature will demand that you paint yourself in the best light. However, I will say, Diablo Cody's presence gives me hope. And also I was thinking about this. If there's one person that doesn't give a rat's rear about what anybody thinks of her, it's Madonna. I don't think she cares if she lays bare, no pun intended, everything about her life, right? Your thoughts?
Right. So I feel slightly differently than you do, and I understand.
Thank goodness, it makes for better dialogue.
Thank goodness. I understand your point about people not being involved in their own movies, books about themselves.
Yes.
However, it also gives you a little bit of that spin of inside information that nobody knows but you. Okay. And with Madonna, she's got to have so many little nuggets like that. So many that she's just held on to all these years.
Well, and Smarty Pants, he's right most of the time. Producer Jeff brought up a good point. Where do you start?
Right.
Like Madonna's life is so huge, you can't fit the whole thing in, so where do you go? What part of Madonna's life do we want to see? Jeff and I and Kendall, in our before the show meeting, we already figured it out.
Yeah.
Diablo and Madonna doesn't need to figure it out. This is what you do, Madonna and Diablo. You do Madonna's rise through New York, okay? How her relationship with her mother, her connection to her mother, and you end it when she made her appearance on American Bandstand with Dick Clark and proclaimed she was going to rule the world. Cut to black, credits roll, Jason cries, you exit the theater. That's it.
Even Leo was into that.
Who's going to play her? That's a good question. Jeff just asked in my ear. I don't know. Who could play her? That's a great question. Let us know on Facebook. Please, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. Helen Mirren? I don't know. I'm just joking.
The Dame?
I wish Jeff was out here because I'm sure that would have made him laugh.
Do you think she would play herself?
No.
Because they've been able to do so much with being able to CGI your face and things.
Yeah, no. She can't play herself. Okay. No. Jeff said Jennifer Lawrence. No, I don't think so.
Oh,
we haven't seen her in a while.
Maybe that's who
she
it is.
She kind of disappeared. Is she working at like Chili's or something?
I don't know, but I probably hid her in my closet. I love her.
You like her? Yeah.
I love her.
Next in the dish, it's the news we need to hear in the year that is 2020. The wait is almost over for a new season of the Great British Baking Show. And hold on to your wigs and keys. We're getting our first look at season 11. Look.
Hello, bakers. Welcome to the tent.
It's back.
I am petrified.
With a fresh batch of bakers.
The sponge has got lumps of butter in. I prefer it like that, to be honest.
And a new addition to the team.
I have the eating age of a 9-year-old.
They can't contain you. You're a maverick.
I'm struggling not to eat a bit more.
That's bone dry.
I feel like I'm definitely on Bake Off now.
I'm going to put a cake in the microwave.
It's all gone wrong.
Oh dear.
You're not meant to eat that.
No, I know that now.
What the hell is that? It's like a death mask.
What's life without taking a little bit of risk?
It's delicious.
Sorry.
You're not supposed to laugh.
This season features, you may have noticed, a new host, comedian Matt Lucas from Little Britain, and you may remember him from Bridesmaids. He replaces Sandy. I'm not happy about this, who left the show last year. I love Sandy. Noel, I could do without. I wish they would have left Sandy, because now you have like 3 dudes, and what's her name? Prude?
I don't remember her name.
Why am I saying it 3 times?
Prue.
I called her Fudge on the radio show a couple days ago. Or maybe was it this show I called her Fudge? I don't know. Anyway, so it's 3 dudes and Prue. Why keep Sandy and get rid of Noel? He's fine. He's grown on me, but yeah.
Do you think that Sandy just was like, okay, 10
she was
is
done.
good?
She was done.
It's a good little cake on that.
And wouldn't you weigh 800 pounds if you worked on that show?
Girl, yes.
Yeah. I would never get off the treadmill. I would just stay on it like a little puffy gerbil.
On the treadmill.
Not a gerbil. They don't like to run the hamsters. The first episode premieres September 25th on Netflix. New episodes will be available every Friday, so it won't be the typical network Netflix thing. They will, it'll week by week we have to wait. That's fine. It's an exercise in patience. Next up, big news for Saturday Night Live. The entire cast, everybody, will be returning for the 46th season. Take that in. The news comes as the show is celebrating its 4th straight Emmy win for Outstanding Variety Sketch Series. The award was handed out at the Creative Arts Emmys last night. They're creative and they're artsy. Some were concerned that Kate McKinnon wasn't going to come back to the show after signing on to play Carol Baskin in a new show about Joe Exotic. The show is expected to start filming next year. Saturday Night Live, however, returns in studio on October 3rd. This is good news. I know not everyone loves the current cast, but one thing we can all agree on, Kate McKinnon, national treasure.
Love her.
Yeah.
Cecily. I love Amy. Like, the women are really the power right now.
Amy
I feel
who?
like, on the show.
Amy who?
One Amy girl. She's got the dark hair, and she's always playing Adele.
There's no Amy on the show.
Annie. Somebody help me. It's she.
Oh,
plays,
Adie Bryant.
Thank you.
Adie. You said Annie. I'm like,
I'm
as
sorry.
in Little Orphan?
No, sorry.
No.
I'm so.
Adie Bryant. Oh, yeah. No, it's fine.
I always get that wrong. I always think it's Amy, but that's
Is
not
it
her
Adie?
name.
I think it's Adie
It's
Bryant.
Adie, yes.
Yeah, not Amy.
I love her so much, I know her name really well.
No, I get it. No, it's hard. The cast constantly changes. Again, I'm just glad she's there. And I'm glad you're here. So please, go get another Orange Julius, maybe a mimosa, maybe an Earl Grey tea, and meet me back here in just a little bit. Orange Julius. We're just getting started. Coming up next, more hot dish straight out of the oven. Jenna Bush Hager is spilling the tea, the fancy tea,
My code name was Twinkle.
about her time living in the White House, and a great lesson from her grandma, former First Lady Barbara Bush. Also ahead, you know I love French Bulldogs, and that is why a new children's book caught my attention. Meet the author in just a bit. And Pizza Week continues. There's Chicago style, there's New York style, but what about Detroit? A Minneapolis restaurant is bringing the Motor City to the Minneapolis. You'll get a preview when we come back.
Who was the most famous person who came to your house over the holidays when you were growing up, Paris?
A lot of people, but I think Michael Jackson and Paula Abdul were some of my favorites.
Okay, that's a winner. What about you, Jenna?
I was going to say I shouldn't go second because it's like Condoleezza Rice and she's awesome, but no Paula Abdul.
Well, I don't know. Or you could say your grandpa, who was also president, which is
I could say my
pretty
grandpa,
good too.
who I love, but we never thought of him like that, But yes, my grandpa.
Yeah, of course not.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's a juxtaposition. Welcome back, everyone. Paris Hilton and Jenna Bush Hager on Watch What Happens Live last night, dishing about famous people they met growing up. Now, Jenna was also asked about her time at the White House and shared a funny story about her late grandmother, former First Lady, and America's favorite wearer of the pearls. Oh, I loved her. I loved her. Barbara Bush. Listen.
What was your favorite thing to order from the White House chef?
Well, we were never allowed to do that. My sister and I tried to order a peanut butter and jelly when my grandpa was president, and my grandmother came down to the bowling alley and was like, "This is not a hotel. You are not allowed to order here. We eat meals at this time." And we never did it again.
Did you have a code name amongst the Secret Service?
Yes, I did. My code name was Twinkle. I take that as a compliment.
Aww.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
When we went back to the White House with the Today Show peeps, we walked in and they were like, "Twinkle, welcome home." And everybody was like,
I love that. Jenna Bush Hager has a new book of essays about her grandparents. She says Barbara Bush was more modern than most people think. And she never stopped evolving. She evolved on many issues. People change. So when you say you're stuck in your ways, you're really never stuck in your ways. You could always evolve. You can always meet new people that open your heart in different ways, and Barbara Bush is a really good example.
I think it'll be an interesting book, too, because Jenna is pretty funny. She's pretty quippy, and not only are her parents grandparents and parents, very interesting people. But like to get that inside scoop, not only about them, but about the White House, the stuff like her name was Sparkles.
Yeah.
She couldn't order food. I mean, that's cool.
Twinkle.
Sparkles.
Sparkle.
I listened really well.
Sparkle was my Secret Service nickname. Yeah. You know, look, this won't, not everyone will agree with this, but, you know, Barbara Bush was one of my first ladies that I remember.
Yeah.
Jeff and I probably, I remember Nancy Reagan, Just Say No. Very special episode of Different Strokes, that one was. But Barbara Bush, when I was in high school, and I got to tell you, I always say when people disagree about a president's politics, I always say, yeah, you can disagree about their politics or their policies, but looking at Jenna, I always use Jenna Bush Hager and her sister as examples of, you can't be a horrible person if you raise good ladies like that. You know what I mean? And I always use them as an example. You may not agree with her father's policies, but her mother's lovely, and they raised wonderful now women.
Right.
Because I really enjoy Jenna. I do, and I've grown to like her a lot on the Today Show. More late night for you. James Corden stayed away from his studio for a second night last night. He talked about leaving the studio after coming in contact with someone who tested positive for COVID-19. Look at this setup.
I've been exposed to someone who has COVID-19. I've tested negative. I feel completely fine, but to be extra cautious, I'm going to be spending the next few days in quarantine away from the studio. And believe me, this is not how I imagined it when people told me I could start phoning it in after 5 seasons. It really isn't. I'm on a Zoom call which is being played on a TV in the studio, and that TV is being filmed from 9 different angles by professional cameramen. So, it's basically business as usual for the year 2020.
Okay, I have to admit that, now look at this. One of the Corden's interviews last night with actor Rainn Wilson was done with 2 different TVs facing each other in his studio. Okay, now you know what? That's a creative idea. Look, every show, live shows like this, for the next however long, God help us all, however long we are dealing with the pandemic, there's going to be ebbs and flows. You know what I mean? There are going to be times when something happens like that. I may have to go back at home. I traveled recently out of abundance of caution. I was at home for a quarantine. It's going to happen. But I will tell you, the next time I do have to maybe go home for a couple of days, we should do that desk trick. Like, I look like the Wizard of Oz. Just
so fun.
Slide one of the monitors right here in front of the desk with my big head. I'd be like, hello, everybody. From the North Loop of Minneapolis,
Right. I would still talk to you like this, too. I'd be
You
like,
would. It would. We should try that. Jeff is making a note right now. I don't know if we have the technology to make that work. But
anyway. It would never work for like something serious like news.
No, you
but
could never
it's
do it.
hilarious in that setting. I mean,
yeah, you couldn't beam in Alex Kendall. You know what I mean? Next up, if you're already overwhelmed by all the streaming options these days, get ready for one more. Kinda. Here's the deal. CBS All Access, remember that one? They're getting a new name. Yeah, starting early next year, it's going to be rebranded as Paramount Plus. There's the logo right now. The relaunch will combine contents from CBS along with other channels also owned by Viacom, like MTV, Nickelodeon, BET. The rebranding will include new shows, including a reboot of the VH1 show Behind the Music. Clutch the Barbara Bush pearls. I was obsessed with Behind the Music in the late 90s. Oh, yeah. Loved it. Do you know what Behind the Music is?
I do. I watched, I would be more excited about MTV Cribs.
Yeah,
personally.
I wasn't a Cribs kind of guy.
What?
No, I wasn't. No.
Fascinating.
Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, loved. Cribs, no.
I remember that with the guy with the very hoity-toity
Robin
accent.
Leach.
Yes.
It's the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
fantastic. I loved that show. But no, and here's the deal. We were talking about this on the radio show. This is an example now. We are now I hear all of you. I get it. People are so confused now of where you can find shows because now we're at almost a saturation point of streaming, and streaming has really just begun. Here's a great example of how all of you, I get, people are confused. Let's take the show Downton Abbey. My buddy Dawn McClain from the radio show, she's on here about ghosts. She was like, I don't know where to find Downton Abbey. It was on PBS, but then it disappeared. It was on Amazon Prime, but is it still there? And then I confused her even further. It's on Peacock. Yeah. It's on NBC's new streaming site.
Oh, Lord.
But you have to watch it with commercials if you do the free version of Peacock, which is sometimes annoying because they place the commercials in weird, they don't make perfect edits. All of a sudden, Mary will be telling Edith all about herself, and boom, there's like, some prescription med commercial that comes up. You know, do you have rashes? And it's like, oh my goodness, you just cut right in the middle of Edith being told how annoying she is.
Well, because that show wasn't ever made to have commercials.
No.
It was on PBS.
But yeah, did you guys know that? Downton Abbey free on the Peacock. So,
No.
but people are confused. You don't know where your shows are. I get it.
Yeah,
There should
and-
be a giant graph, a giant map. Yeah.
Help, I'm poor.
Yeah. Next in the dish, Maroon 5 is out with their first new song of 2020. And the video was shot completely on an iPhone. Seriously, look. That's frontman Adam Levine. Look, he's sporting the smooth head. Adam Levine singing Nobody's Love, which advocates for the legalization of the marijuana, the Cheech and the Chong. And Adam said that song, there's the chorus of, I forgot what the main chorus is, but it came to him and it was just, grown man cry. It can make a grown man cry.
Right.
He heard that melody in his head, and from that little riff that he heard, he wrote a whole song around it. That's
so
how
good.
he's so, look, people think he's a little, but he is talented. And Adam talked about the song during a great interview with my buddy Howard Stern yesterday, Baba Booey. He talked about how the music industry has changed in the past few years. And I got to tell you, you know me, I have a weird entertainment mind. I can tell you the entire NBC lineup in 1984. Music is my one deficiency in entertainment. I don't know a lot about it, but listen to this. Howard was talking about this new song, and he goes, Adam, is this a precursor to an album? He goes, no, we're not doing an album. I'm not releasing an album. And he goes, you know what's fascinating is now with Spotify and the way artists are releasing things, it's not about the album anymore. And Howard goes, oh, that's a shame. That's how it used to be. And Adam goes, not really. He's like, the thing with albums really started with the Beatles forward. So late 60s and 70s and 80s. He goes, what music is now is the way it was in the 50s. He goes, what people don't always realize is in the 50s, pop music was released in single form.
Right.
You would, like Elvis would release a one hit. He had albums, but Darlene Love would release, you know what I mean? And they would release, the Big Bopper would release, Richie Valens would release La Bamba.
One thing.
Not a whole album. He goes, we're actually going back to the 50s. I found that fascinating.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'm so caught up in the fact that that song is about the legalization of marijuana.
Yeah.
I had no idea, but I do agree.
Watch the video, it'll be very clear.
Oh.
It will be crystal Carrington clear. Why do you think Jeff could only find about 2 seconds we could show on here without our boss's hairs catching on fire?
Oh.
Yeah. They would just combust. But yeah.
Spontaneously combust.
Did they just show that? Yeah. Anyway, but no, yeah, watch the video. It'll be very clear what that music video is about. A local man is using his life story to entertain kids in a brand new book, and he's getting help from his adorable French Bulldogs, which means you know he was going to be on the show. You're going to meet him coming up next. And later, hope you're hungry. Pizza Week continues with a visit to Rectangle Pizza, known for their Detroit-style pie. Kendall's taking you there when we come back. Stay with us, everyone.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day.
Welcome back.
Oh, no matter what they say.
It's the James Corden shot. Kinda. That's what we'll do the next time I have to go home. Welcome back, everybody. Well, every pet owner loves to show off their pet, including me. Okay, here's the, let's just put up the, yeah, look at that. There's my two babies, Dexter and Mr. Big. We have a boxer and a French Bulldog. Now, Dexter is, like I said, the boxer, and Mr. Big is a French Bulldog. one local man is using his 2 French Bulldogs to help entertain and educate kids. His new book right here is called Pickles and Ocho, Our Favorite Place, and it's actually his 2nd book in the series. Author Dan Wellick joins us now via Zoom. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Jason. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Oh, look. No offense, Dan, but they're the stars.
I know. That's why I have them here, so everybody can see them and they say hi.
Oh.
This is Pickles and this is Ocho.
Oh, look. Wait. Which one's Pickles?
Pickles is the big boy right here.
Oh, Pickles.
And then Ocho is the brindle right over here.
Pickles reminds me of Mr. Big Dan because, you know, they little stocky, little big head. You know how they are.
Yeah, well, I've seen your dog in your on your social media, so I'm very familiar. He's beautiful.
Well, thank you. Dan, how did this is, like I said, the 2nd story in the series. Tell us a little bit about the adventures in this one.
Okay, so the stories of Pickles and Ocho really mirror the life of my family. So my partner and I, Gabino, along with Pickles and Ocho, we moved into our new home. And so the story is really about the struggles that Pickles faces as he moves into the new house, and how his little brother Ocho and how his 2 papas help him navigate that change successfully.
And in real life, does art imitate life, Dan? Is this, as they say, based on a true story?
Well, it is. I mean, everything looks pretty much the same, and that was kind of the direction we gave to the illustrator. Was we really wanted it to be a realistic reflection of our life, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, in truth, I'm a little thinner than the actual illustration.
Oh, well, and Ocho's a little thinner in the illustration than, you know, he's a little guy in this.
He is, when he was a pup.
Yeah.
And so I have chosen to keep him as a pup and not really necessarily age him.
I'm sure.
I like that dynamic between the 2, you know, the kind of the big brother and the little brother.
Dan, I know, but for people watching that maybe are not familiar with the breed, just talk to me. What is it about Frenchies? I mean, they're just magical little sausages, aren't they?
Right. They're like these loyal little clowns, and they just are the most lovable and fun dogs. And their faces, of course, and then the bat ears, you know, they're the best. And they just want to be around Gabino and I all the time. And they just are that unconditional love. And, you know, I mean, you've got two dogs and 1 Frenchie, you know, they're just, they're adorable.
And Dan, this is, like I said, the 2nd in a series. Do you have other stories in mind? Are you going to continue this series?
I am. Yes, I have the next story in mind. So you'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
I've got to get down on paper, but it like I said, it will always mirror kind of our real life adventures for my family, particularly through Pickles and Ocho.
How long, I've said this 100 times every time we interview authors, I'm always in awe because writing is something that I really can't do, and I always have the utmost respect. How long does it take you from idea to creation to do a book like this?
Well, I can average out between the last 2 books because that's all I've done.
Yeah.
With the exception of a coloring book that I also have. So it takes about 8 to 10 months.
Oh, that's okay. That's nice. What's the reaction? Yeah. What's the reaction? I'm sure, you know, because this is kind of like your baby, just like Pickles and Ocho. What is it like for you when you see the reaction to kids that read the book? What's the reaction been like?
You know, the kids have responded so positively to it. And, you know, the main message of the book really, which is not even, you know, we don't message it in terms of like the copy or the text, is just to give kids exposure to that imagery of a family that looks different than theirs. And the kids don't question it. They get it. They love it. I mean, of course, you know, they've always got the questions about Pickles and Ocho. But some kids ask, and they're very accepting, and they're just great about it.
Yeah, families come in all shades and flavors, and I'm so glad that your family is represented in this. Can we give a shout out to Dan? Tell me, because the illustrations are just so cute. Can we give a shout out? Who did the illustrations for this, Dan?
Tu Shi is the illustrator, and he is amazing. He's so good. The book has won awards actually for its illustration, and people really respond to it. And he has this way of just capturing Pickles and Ocho and our family. So when he actually puts it to paper and I look at those pictures, it just warms my heart and makes me laugh, because I'm like, that is totally Ocho, that's totally Pickles, and that's totally something Gabino would do.
Yeah, I will end on this. Congratulations, because speaking of awards, the 2018 National Indie Excellence Award for Children's Fiction Book of the Year. Congratulations, Dan.
Thank you, Jason, so much for having us.
Of course. Come back when the next one's done, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye, Pickles and Ocho. Once again, the book is called Pickles and Ocho, Our Favorite Place, and it is available now. Support local authors, everybody. Thank you. Still to come, everybody, a food writer ranks nearly every single dish at chain restaurants. Her favorites are probably your favorites, but wait till you see this list when we come back. Back after this. Go get that book. Adam getting some beautiful shots of our redone studio. Well, when it comes to restaurants, we all have our favorites. You know we do. We talked about Red Lobster earlier with the Dar, with my mom. And oftentimes, those favorites include a few chain restaurants. I don't like people who bust on chains. I don't like the fancy shoo-shoo food people. But when you go to those restaurants, the menu, it can be overwhelming. Remember, like Cheesecake Factory? It's like reading Roots or like North and South or Thornbirds. And you never know what to order. Well, one food writer from delish.com is helping us out. Here's the headline of her latest article. I've eaten at nearly every single chain restaurant, and these are the best menu items. It took her 2 years to eat through everything. And a grateful nation thanks her. The article features her top 20 picks at spots ranging from Denny's and Applebee's to Outback and Olive Garden. And here's a few of our picks that we think you'll like. Let's start with number 20. The fettuccine Alfredo, said Oprah style at the Red Lobster. She says, quote, it truly hits the spot. Do you enjoy the fettuccine Alfredo?
I love fettuccine Alfredo, like anywhere it's at, really, so.
I do not.
What?
I've eaten everything, again, alumnus, but I'm not a cream sauce kind of guy.
Oh, you're a purist.
And because I worked there, and other servers from Red Lobster will agree with me, when you serve that stuff all the time,
smell and
it gets because you pour it over and it's very rich.
Right.
It's very, very rich. Yeah. Next, number 15, the shrimp and steak sirloin at Applebee's. The writer says it's creamy, savory, and tastes like luxury without breaking the bank. Tastes like luxury. At the Applebee's.
You know, Applebee's, my mom and I, when we go shopping, we always get lunch there because they've got a great like soup and salad thing. And
Dar likes the Applebee's. We had one in Michigan City, but yeah. She likes the chicken salad, the crunchy chicken salad.
Oh, the Oriental chicken salad.
Yeah, that is legendary.
Legendary.
Don't look at the calories on that. Anyway, number 5, the full slab of ribs at Texas Roadhouse. The writer says the ribs are the size of your forearm and are savory, sweet, and perfectly juicy.
Looks at forearm.
Now, I'm going to make an admission here. I've never been to a Texas Roadhouse, ever. And we have one on the way to see my mother-in-law on the way to in Coon Rapids. Never been to one.
I haven't either.
I don't even know what they're known for.
I know they do garlic bread, right? Is that their thing?
The bread?
Yeah.
The bread. And is that the place where you can throw crap on the floor? Like you throw peanuts on the floor, right? Maybe. I don't know.
Jeff says the bread's fantastic.
Yeah. So I don't know. We need to go there. There's a pandemic going on. Anyway, one chain dominated the top 5 with three of the top 5 spots. That's Cracker Barrel. Wow. I'll keep my comment to myself. The fried apples finished 4th, followed by the chicken pot pie and the double fudge Coca-Cola cake.
Oh, girl.
Have you ever heard of a Coca-Cola cake?
No.
It's a Southern thing. I make one, actually. Before I was known for the other thing that I make, I can make a really good Coca-Cola cake.
Really? So do you just put Coke in the mix?
Yeah, Coke is in the batter.
Okay.
So it's a chocolate-based cake, but you mix Coke and it gives it a nice little, kind of like a malty flavor, but it's delicious.
I'm into it.
Yeah. And the #1 chain restaurant meal, according to the article in Delish.com, the Bang Bang Shrimp at Bonefish Grill. She says they're spicy, creamy, and crunchy, and impossible to stop eating. Unfortunately, there are no longer any locations here in Minnesota. There was one in the West End, and now it's the Andrew Zimmern restaurant.
Oh, right.
Which I think is still open.
The Lucky Cricket.
I don't know. The Lucky Cricket. That's right. You can read the entire article at Delish.com, and we hope to have the writer on the show. She does great lists.
Can she bring food?
I hope so. Sticking with food, after the break, it's time to talk pizza. Pizza Week continues with a trip to Rectangle. Rectangle Pizza in Minneapolis, known for bringing Detroit-style pie to our taste buds. We'll be right back. Had trouble saying Detroit style today. Welcome back, everyone. A throwback for you this morning, for this Wednesday. Madonna singing her hit Music. 20 years ago this fall, that song hit #1. It featured a very young Sacha Baron Cohen as his alter ego, Ali G. Oh, I love this. Is one of my favorite eras of Madonna. She's had so many, yeah. And we were just talking during the break, lover, hater, she may not be your cup of tea, but you can't take away the fact that she is the mother of reinvention. When people have always counted her out, she comes back. She's reinvented herself so many times, and you also forget how many hits she's had.
And how many different kinds of hits.
Oh, and different, types of pop. I mean, and she's bent different genres to her. It's amazing. It really is. I mean, she really is the pop princess, or pop queen, I should say.
Yeah.
Princess is like
Brittany.
I don't know. I don't think she's a pop princess anymore either. Welcome back. It's a delicious week on The Jason Show as we celebrate pizza. We kicked off Pizza Week on Monday with a trip to QC Pizza in Matamidi to learn about Quad City style pizza. Today, it's all about Detroit style, which, can I just say before you roll this, we've all been saying that watching the video and the teases has made us all very hungry.
Yes,
So
very.
we may get pizza today. It's known for its thick crust and rectangular shape, and we're getting a lesson in Motown deliciousness at Rectangle Pizza in Minneapolis. Look at this.
All right, so this is just a little baby kitchen. Already sort of pre-done a little bit. This is a part of what the secret would be. There's many hours before it gets to this point. We have to make the dough, but then after that we do a bulk ferment for hours in the fridge, and then we pull that out, and then we have to ferment it in the pan for another 4 hours, let it proof so it stays in the pan, and then we are able to build the cheese on it. A lot of the meat products, like you get, especially for pizza, is like cased or cured or some other sort of thing, like a farce inside of a casing. If we're gonna get those things, we might as well try and get the best of them. And then the other things we can manipulate ourselves, like chicken and pork, and make our own sausage and do our own things, and we're gonna do that as much as we can. It's not like just make the dough, throw it in the air, and then you have something fancy. Now it's in there. It's always better to have the fresh. We take the nice sweet corn that's available right now, add a little bit of tahini aioli, and then we get this all over here, probably about an ear and a half of sweet corn every pizza, because why in the world not? And that right there is the basis for our elote pizza. Ooh, look at him go. Get back here, buddy. So on a lot of these, the sauce would be the vegetable and or finished with sauce. In this case, our sauce is sausage gravy. Not the cutest stuff in the world, but I guarantee it's gonna be delicious. Soft scrambled eggs, it's kind of like making a little painting. The way you layer it and how you go about doing it is actually very important. Let's have a looky. That one's almost there. Pizza's always been the takeout champion, it's not like you necessarily have to switch everything around to make something in 2020 that people are going to want to eat. People are turning to like doing pizza, doing sandwiches, doing hot dogs, you know what I mean? In like a fine dining type of way. Then you realize that all along, these sandwiches, hot dogs, pizza have always been like the fine dining. This is an edible plate. You should have something to finish it with. It should be finished, it should be done. This elote one is it's definitely a garnish heavy pizza. So we have tahini aioli, queso fresco, pickled red onion. You're not chefing unless you're using tweezers, so what the heck? A little bit of cilantro here. Last but not least, charred lime that we did. You know, there might be a whole lot of garnishes, but at the end of the day, it's still pizza, and we expect it to be dug into like people would eat pizza. So here's that. There's many hours. It's not like just make the dough, throw it in the air, and then you have something fancy. We like to put a little bit more thought into it. We like to think that people can taste the difference in the labor that it takes to make this pizza happen. If anybody else is trying to open a Detroit-style pizza restaurant, I would advise against it. Not for me, but just for your sanity. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. I don't ever go home. This is my home, but you know, I'm surrounded by pizza, so it doesn't really matter, right? I get to do what I love, and I get to eat what I love.
And that's a gift all by itself, thanks to the guys over there at Rectangle. Okay, you got to try. I have a couple questions. So the elote pizza with the corn.
Yes.
That looks amazing.
Amazing.
There's a lot of stuff on it. I'm
that was
scared.
my favorite.
That's your
my
favorite?
Yes, with the pickles and the pickled onion, and it was really good.
Okay, and then we saw something with sausage gravy.
Breakfast pizza. It's super popular, and it was also very good. I'm not a huge breakfast pizza person, but theirs is really good. The one that was the best, I want to get it right, it's the shredder. That was the one with the pepperoni on it.
Yeah.
They use a Crybaby Craig's honey. So good. But the thing with Detroit pizza, it's focaccia crust.
Yes.
It's kind of what it tastes like. And it's the square because Detroit, Motor City, they used motor parts, from what I understand, to make these the pan.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really neat. And they're right by you in the North Loop. Such good pizza.
Support local restaurants, man, and this is a good one to support. So thanks to the guys I love. He's like, don't open this.
Hard work.
To learn more about Rectangle Pizza in the North Loop, check out their website, rectanglepizza.com. A pizza joint in New Haven, Connecticut came out on top, by the way, on a survey. We'll be right back, everybody. Stay with us. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Hey, don't forget, I always say, please watch us live. You can record those other shows that you don't like to watch. But if you can't catch us, you can always catch us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to search for The Jason Show. Full episodes are posted a little bit later in the day. And hit that subscribe button and hit that bell. Ring that bell. Anyway, it'll remind you, it'll tell you when a new episode has been uploaded. We'll be right back, everyone. Stay with us. Oh, goodness gravy. Welcome back, everyone. We had fun today, didn't we, Kendall?
We did.
We did. It was a good show. We ate. We learned about Detroit style. We didn't physically eat.
No, unfortunately.
I know.
I don't remember that.
Now I want it. Now I want to go. I want to go to Rectangle Pizza.
It was honestly some of the best pizza I've ever had in my life. Really good.
I'll say it, and I know I live in the neighborhood, and you can see me walking the dogs, but if you are coming into the cities, people always ask me this, where should I go to get the most bang for your buck? The North Loop really has it in the Minneapolis because there's shops, there's like Martin Patrick, and there's a whole bunch of restaurants there you can take your pick. Nolo and Monte Carlo and Rectangle and our buddy Soul Bowl that's featured in our music video. Gerard, who opened a new chicken wing place. Gerard, we want to get you on the show.
Hello.
But he did it with Glam Doll Donuts. I love Gerard and his wife. They're just, as they say in the South, they're good people. Tomorrow on the show, I am excited. The always entertaining Melissa Peterman joins us for most of the hour, my buddy. She's got a new project happening with country star and her buddy, Reba McEntire. We'll also play a game and much more. Melissa Peterman returns to the show tomorrow, and you never know what's going to happen. I love her. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're a kid that's being bullied, you go out there and be yourself, because nobody can tell you're doing it wrong. Bye, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.